just met Matt about half an hour ago, but I'm aware of what you do. I've seen your stuff online. So you're here to talk about your pickups today. So you do lots of other stuff. So can you let everyone know kind of what Monty's Guitars does and the products you put out there and kind of how you've got to this point? Because I know your backstory, but some of these fine people probably don't.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me down. Well, I started way back in 2000. I come from guitar tech sort of land. I was working at a shop called Chandler's in Kew with Charlie Chandler before he went off and did the Charlie Chandler's Guitar Experience now in Kingston. And I was there as I went to the Guitar Institute, and part of I got into the Guitar Institute on a scholarship thing, and part of the scholarship was they got me a guitar, which was this old telly, and it was pretty shit, to be fair, and it kept breaking. So I kept going from college to the guitar shop, back and forth, and begging. I had no money, so I was begging them, so I'll make tea, I'll do whatever, and can I work there? Because let's face it, it was really cool working in a guitar shop. You got everything, and it was like that. And eventually, it was the day I graduated, I went to get some strings, and Charlie was just like, well, we've got this apprenticeship coming up, they just got the Plek machine over, I don't know if you know that thing. And he was just like, well, if you can pass it around the school, and just, then people can come and apply, and someone will get the job. And of course I didn't pass it around anybody, and I was the only applicant, and therefore got the job, which was really cool. And I mean, Chandler's at that time, that was everybody was there. Literally the first guy's guitar I was allowed to work on was Dave Gilmour's. And
no pressure.
Yeah, they didn't tell me though until his tech Phil Taylor phoned up, and so it was this little baby Taylor guitar which Dave left in a greenhouse, basically, like a garden house. As you do.
Probably like 55 Strat or something. It's a prototype.
Yeah, one of those common as muck things. And then, so the net kept moving, and it just needed a load of work, so I just set it up, and Phil phoned up and spoke to Charlie and said that Dave really liked it, it's like set up great. And then Charlie told me who it was, and I was like, fuck. And it's like on the phone, my dad's a massive Floyd fan, so it's like, you'll never guess. And it's like that. And Mick Jagger coming in, Pete Townsend, all these kind of guys.
I think Prince used to have his guitars done at Chandler's.
Yeah, there was a guy called Dave Roussan, who is, he designed the Cloud guitar.
Yeah.
He also did the ZZ Top guitars and bass that went, Dave's he's such a lovely guy.
Yeah.
He's actually having problems with the whole Cloud thing, the Prince, not trust, what
that's what the Prince estate,
like clamping down on him doing all that stuff. So, but whichever way you slide, that guy is a talented motherfucker, and can create some incredible stuff. So anyway, I was learning how to set stuff up, and refrets, wiring, this, that, and the other, seeing all kinds of crazy stuff coming through. And being a tech, I kind of see it's the same as a hairdresser. You find one you like and you stick with them. And then I was kind of lucky enough that lots of people just stayed with me. And then for various reasons, I set up on my own.
And where are you based?
And now I'm in Cheltenham, but for ages I was in Ealing, and then had a workshop at the studio in Richmond called State of the Art, which has the crazy people through there. They had the desk in that studio was the one that Stones recorded XL on Main Street, which had on one of the faders there was it's scratched into it. It was like Mick, and it's really cool. It's like how much drugs have been snorted on this shit.
Just a bit. Don't tip that upside down.
Or do. Just pass the straw. But it's really cool. That studio was owned by a guy called Terry Britton, who wrote.
Tim Turner.
Yeah. So What's Love Got to Do with It, Devil Woman, Just Good Friends on the Bad album. He did, some stuff for the boy band Blue, but that was hidden out the back. It's actually one really, really cool thing is he on the back of the toilet. There was a telegram from Quincy Jones, which said, "I'm glad everybody went the same way I did. It's a great song." But just that little thing, just on the back of the toilet. That's pretty cool. But yeah, well, all of this led to working with lots of people and on some really cool stuff, seeing lots of really cool gear.
And all that sort of come through from Chandler's and now taken into your business.
Yeah. I've just been very lucky, and it's you get to see stuff that, well, like the 00001 Strat, worked on that, and all these kind of things, which it's weird because in the time when you're working on it. You just don't think about it. You kind of just it doesn't matter if it's a Squire or a Burst or whatever.
I guess you can't think about it; it'll paralyse you.
No, exactly.
It's like you've got to get it done. So
yeah.
Don't let the screwdriver slip. That's the.
I've got a story about that. No, but seriously, it's just a process. So you just do this. You do the same thing over and over, and you just do it. And it's really cool.
So clearly we're bass players. You do a lot of guitar stuff, a lot of bass stuff. So we're talking about the pickups.
Yeah.
So what's kind of led you down this path? Because we'll say, well, you're doing guitar pickups. We could probably do some bass ones. How does it differ? Because what we're dealing with is totally different frequencies, different resonances. I mean, some people look at electronics and pickups and go, I don't want to know, I just want to play. Let's try and demystify some of that. So I presume predominantly you're a guitar player, but clearly you can play some bass. So what's the challenges when you're looking at creating pickups for bass? It's a very different world. So
I mean,
are there obstacles when you're looking at it from a design phase going, well, because essentially it should be something quite simple.
Yeah.
But if it was that simple, everyone would have great pickups, and that ain't the case.
No, it's not. But you've got, the whole thing comes from you've got to reverse engineer what you like. So you're only going to make great what you like. It's the same with anything. Same with fucking food. You're going to make, if you make your best sandwich, not everyone's going to like that freaking sandwich. Yeah. So what you do is you have to, from a customer's point of view, you want to look around, find the person that speaks your language, makes your sandwich, and then go to that person. Because I'm looking for, I'm actually more fond of bass than I am guitar. I play.
You're fun.
I like low frequencies, very loud, and those kind of things.
You're in the right place.
It's good. Yeah, I like make my. But it's So what I'm looking for, to be honest, is with everything, it's the right frequencies for you to cut through without just having to turn your amp up, and that's the same with everything that I do. When I was developing the pickups, I was in a band it was a function band, but we had 3 or 4 vocals, track, drums, bass, keys, guitar, all that stuff, and you're playing venues, this size pubs. I actually played the Albert Hall. Actually, was kind of funny.
Small gig, no pressure.
Yeah, it was for Fund Manager of the Year. I've never seen so many coked up angry blokes in one room. At one point they dropped all these balloons down. I can't remember what song we were playing, and everybody, rather than at most gigs, you'd see people go, "Yay, this is really fun!" And they just stand on them. Take that. It's one of those. But so within that band, it was like the perfect playground to try all this stuff out. So
like 10-piece band, 9-piece band.
No, it's 5-piece.
Oh, 5.
Yeah, but just you're all doing lots of bits.
Right.
Playing everything from sort of Wham to Van Halen to, and with that, it was all frequencies. So everything was sat where it needed to be sat. Because I mean, you all must have had it when you're playing a gig and you just can't hear yourself, which is so fucking frustrating. And then you don't know what you're playing. So then you start thinking, and when you start thinking, you're fucked. And it's if you can take that away, because my whole job is to make. Well, it's really the people. I'm looking after the people that are watching. So you've just got to do your thing. The thing you've sat, practiced, and whatever, and anything that comes in between you, your brain, and whatever's coming out your arm, that inhibits you. That's
your department.
Yeah. And it's once you lock into that, it's fucking simple. Yeah. And just keep it nice and easy for you.
I think the thing I found, like when I used to play in a covers band, did for 17 years, and you get to know what the sonic layout of your band is. You know where the drums are going to be, you know where the guitars are going to be, all of that thing. The thing you can't replicate a lot of the time is you can't replicate the venue you're playing in. So you'll go in one venue and think, Christ, the frequencies are flying around, how to rein that in. The next week you could be in a wedding marquee and it just saps all the frequencies, and you're like, it's nothing like the gig you were on last week. So to one sort of degree you can't replicate, but at the same time you want a happy medium. So you can go into any venue, any gig, know what your gear's going to do, and if you hit, I just need to give the mids a slight boost or a slight drop, or if I need more bass, shall I bring the treble down? Alternatively, if I need more treble, do I bring the bass down so it lets it do what it does? So bring it back to the pickups. How do you then, in the design of those, what is kind of like your reference point? What do you?
I'm looking for something. I like the low, basically kind of a slight scoop, right? So you want your lows to be really present and punchy, but you still need some treble in there.
Yep.
And so you've got this slight scoop which tends to make everything sit, especially when you're playing with anything electronic. That's going to be like and push everything. So you need to differentiate yourself from that. And I found the instruments that I've played over the years that have always, you pick up and you don't put down for an hour and you're kind of lost. And B, when you're playing with anybody else, or they're the frequencies that they've got that always jump out. So it's basically finding out how that works. It's different in guitar than it is in a bass. I mean, we're talking 1% here, but it is different, and replicating that. So, for example, potting techniques, which is, that's been an argumentative subject with some people. But anyway, if you take like the two main ones, you've got like wax potting and lacquer potting is typically, or Fender during the 70s, they did nothing quite often. And what wax does, wax kind of seeps into the coil and makes the whole thing solid, and then you've got this thing which, it works and everything, it works lovely, it sounds really good, but because the coil's solid, none of the winds are moving at all with any resonance of the bass. If you think how much your bass moves when you play it, I mean, you put it on your chest and it's quite soothing. That resonance, that's could be going through the pickup like this. So if the coil itself is solid, it's seeing exactly, and it's bolted into the body, it's just seeing this.
It's like suspension on a car. There's nothing to counteract. You've just got that force.
Yeah, exactly. But if you underpot it a little bit or lacquer pot it, what happens there is you've got this, like, the lacquer coats the outside, and then the inside is left, naked, basically, left to do its thing. So you've got this very, very slight movement in the coil. So as your bass is going like this and shaking the pickup itself is doing something slightly different. So what I found is that if something's heavily potted, you get the same thing and you heavily pot it, you get more fundamental note and less of this bloom. You know the bloom that everyone talks about with paps? That's, those kind of things. That's because they're not potted, and you get this, the coil moving very slightly. That's what gives you this kind of extra harmonics around the note, that slight.
The coloration.
Yeah. It makes it I find it makes it more dynamic, more touch sensitive, that's where that magic is.
Okay. So what have been the challenges when you've been sort of trying to create your own brand of bass pickups? There's so many pickups out there already on the market. How did you want to make your thing unique to you guys?
Well, as I said earlier, those frequencies that I'm looking for. They kind of run through them, and I wanted to make something that was as kind of as versatile as possible. Just sounded pretty fucking cool. I mean, that's basically you make something, and if you aim at we've got there's some here that are based on specific eras, and there's other ones that are tweaks of those, which are kind of more like our own design.
Yeah.
And it's just ones that, like the ones like this, you've got 62p bass, like a pink one.
Take us through what we've got here. So these are basses that you've created?
Yeah. They're Lego bases. So
Lego bases.
I haven't made them
Okay.
such. I've put them together.
Right.
But yes, we've got 2p basses here. This the gold one. That's our retro wind one, and then the one next to it is the 62.
Right.
The 62 is my favourite era, and that's actually based off a bass that was owned by a guy called Alan Rogan, who was he was Pete Townshend's tech from day one, and then he worked for the Stones and AC/DC.
So while he was with Pete Townsend, he worked for John Entwistle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, quick story. So come back. So all of you, well, I'm sure most of you will remember a guy called Nick Smith. Rest in peace, young Nick. So Nick bought one of John Entwistle's alembics, of which I was talking to a few people about earlier. There's very few of these. Alan Rogan was the guy that part exchanged it into the place that Nick bought it from.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, put it in as a commission sale for Entwistle.
Well, Rogan did all that kind of stuff. I mean, when he came to my workshop once, and there was a 1960 Les Paul in the back of his car that he was then catching a plane to go to LA to drop off for. Oh, who's the guy from the Eagles?
Don Henley.
No,
Joe Walsh.
That's the one.
It's a different time.
I mean, but he was. Alan Rogan was. He was a beautiful guy, and he was really, really kind. And I mean, he's one of those guys that without him, I mean, lots of stuff for me wouldn't have happened.
Right.
And he invited me over to his house once, and he was just like, I've got these. I was designing some mini humbuckers for Pete, and he said, I'll come upstairs, I'll show you something. So,
Oh yeah.
I mean, I was on his WhatsApp group, so this is like, I'd seen some funny shit from him. But it went up to this little office, which looked like a little office. You walked in the door, so the door was there, and then there was another door where I love your shoes, by the way. Where you're sat, and it had a big, what's the word? Bank style vault door thing.
Yeah,
I literally on one of those, and he opened it out, and shit you not, it was like 4 times the size in there, and there was just rows of. He had there was 4 1960 335s. There was the 62p bass, which was his main bass. And because Alan was a fucking incredible bass player, and all this stuff that he'd collected, there was.
He's got the perfect job.
Yeah, he had it. I mean, sadly he was taken from us, but that guy. I mean, he started collecting way back, and what he didn't know or have is kind of not worth it. No, showed me all these kind of things, and you find the stories that guy has is incredible. There's one which is my favourite one.
I've been advised that the following story needs to be altered somewhat for reasons. So, here we go.
Favourite one that I bore everyone with, which when he was working for Keith Richards, and the Stones were doing that tour, when they were doing it in the round. Do you know? I can't remember what tour it was, but Alan was
Charged with filling up a lovely bowl of kumquats.
And then Keith would give him the nod.
Peel a kumquat.
And then Keith would come over, swap guitars, take it and go. And he came over, so just all going through it, and he knocked it off Alan's hand. So Alan then went, Keith, sorry, then was just like,
Don't worry, I'll peel myself a kumquat.
so he's up there doing something, and Alan's there holding the guitar, and then the solo's coming up. It's like, Keith turns around apparently and goes, "You play it." And Alan's there like, I mean, again, he was a fantastic guitarist, so he started playing it, and they all turned around and happened to like,
Mick said, "Are you eating all the kumquats?"
Keith's like, anyway, you know.
That should do it.
But all this stuff, but he going back to the bass, sorry. But with that, his bass just sounded, it was one of those things where you hit a note and it was so present. It was like it was there. You put it in any mix and it's just right there. And
well, with a collection like that, you've got all the examples, all the things that we sort of salivate about, and all, 1962 jazz, and you've literally got them all there. You've heard those sounds. If you've played them, you'll know all those differences.
Yeah.
Of the different examples, the different eras, how different woods, and as you've gone through Fender and Gibson and Ricky's, and they're there.
Yeah.
They're there in the rack, because like Entwistle, Townsend, they would collect all this stuff.
Exactly. So you got to see hear how things changed, and also you get. So, I mean, I'm sure you've tried, like, if you say 5 basses that are made in the same run, one after the other, they all sound freaking different.
Yeah.
And it's finding out why that happens. I mean, there's loads of reasons, and not one, one's never going to sound the same as another. But you give yourself the best fighting chance.
You can get in the same area.
Yeah, you get in the ballpark. Is what I mean. I'd say before you do any upgrade at all with anything, just make sure your instrument's set up properly. Because if for example, if the truss rod's too tight, you'll make the bass will sound thin and clanky.
It's constricted.
Yeah, too loose, and then it will sound really nice and rich, but the intonation will be shot, and that kind of, you'll be fighting it. So it's balancing all that stuff out, and then changing one thing at a time, and then you can follow what's making a difference. I mean, the amount of times people come in and they go, "I've just bought this, and I want to spend another £1,000 with all this shit," and it's just, you're like, "But no,
do one bit at a time."
I mean, it's frustrating. I would be going, "Oh, well, I'll change this and put this out," and I do that myself, but it's. I mean, the work on my own guitars is fucking terrible. Never look at them. but yeah, if you can be patient enough, which I'm not a patient man, then you can get yourself where you want to.
Yeah.
Sort of find.
So it's like fine tuning each element separately rather than trying to do it all in one hit.
Yeah, exactly. Like going back to the pickup side of things, it's when you've got. So you say you take that's 60 jazz bass there, right? So that's the red one. So the things you know by measuring it and all that kind of stuff is the magnets. I mean, that's A5s in there. The wire, which is it's AWG, which is American Wire Gauge 42, which is the same. It's like standard thing you get on PAFs, most Strats, Tele Bridges, that kind of thing. And the coating on it is plain enamel, which is it's actually more of a Gibson thing at that point.
Okay.
And the height of the bobbins, what the bobbins are made out of, that kind of stuff, and how they're wound. So what you do is you basically just make one, copy it, and then you listen to it and sort of like say, okay, so I'm not getting the top. Is typically what it is I'm not getting the top that I want. So how do I change that? And you can do things like, there's quite a few, but for example, the tension of the wire going onto the bobbin as it's spinning. So what that does is it will make it, if you increase it, the wires all gripping together more. So there's less chance of them moving, giving you that kind of that magic bloom stuff, which then affects all the nice mids and things. Then and you get most of the bobbin is tighter into the magnetic fields, and what that does is gives you more top. So you squeeze it in. If the bobbin's fatter, then you'll get more mids in there, because you've got more of the coil further away from the magnetic field. And again, we're talking tiny little percentages, but if you add all these things up,
Yes.
they make a difference. You make
Some of the parts.
Exactly. You make the bobbin taller, the same amount of winds. Again, it's that same thing. All the wire is closer into the magnetic field, you get more top. But then if you've got strong magnets, like those are A5, on the high end of A5s, they themselves put more mids in, so that's pushing that up.
Yeah.
And then so you're kind of balancing all this stuff out. Then you've got the potting techniques and stuff. Some people talk about the whole degaussing magnets, which is bollocks. But because you can't do it reliably,
Sure.
unless I mean, I've tried, and I mean, there's a lot more clever people than me who most probably do it, but for most pickup winders, it's not. You can't do it. So what usually happens is if you find out that it is, say in this pickup, for example, it's A5s, but they sound better when they're weaker.
Mm-hmm.
You literally go down to like 3A4, whichever, and you kind of EQ it that way.
Okay. I thought of a question just as we were saying that. Is there? I mean, what's the? Is there any difference tonally to hand wiring, doing the wraps?
Or machine winding.
Yeah.
Yeah, but but that goes more down to the pattern. You can get.
I saw you mention some video. Is it scatter pattern?
Yeah. So that's if you've got. I mean, one of the patterns I do is you've got literally it's every 1,000 winds you change it. So one, you're going like literally doing this. So the first lot are all crossed over, and there's loads of gaps in there, and the bobbin fills up a lot quicker. So you're creating a wider coil, so giving you more mids, that kind of stuff. And then you regiment it, which then keeps the first 1,000 under control. Because what if you just do this? Obviously you're not doing that, it's a very highly skilled process. If you just do that, you end up with a really fat coil, and also the chances of it being more microphonic is like crazy. So keeping it under wraps, as it were, is a way of doing that. So you just switch that out, but then if you do it all regimented and everything is literally like it would be on a transformer, one after the other, and they're all next to each other, which when you're dealing with wire that's like as thin as a human hair is really freaking tough. I found that they sound more, they're more likely to sound dead, like kind of muffled. They don't have that magic, which is, once you find that, you're fucking golden, because that's what it's all
And does that change based on the sort of model or style of pickup?
Mm-hmm.
Do you do a different?
Yeah.
Between a split coil and a single coil, you're going to do a different kind of production.
Yeah, because you're looking for the end coil shape is kind of quite key. So you're it sounds so kind of sounds arty, but you're kind of painting it, if that makes sense.
Okay. So you were talking about period specific.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about 62 jazzes and stuff. So if someone comes to you today and said, I'd like to order blah, 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 these types of pickups. How far are you going through? Are you just looking at 60s and 70s, or is there stuff 80s and 90s style sounds that you incorporate?
There's if it sounds good, it's good. I've heard like Squire P-bass with ceramic magnets and all that sound fucking monstrous. But they do a certain thing. I mean, are they gonna, you're gonna sound like Jacko? No, but you'll sound like something else that is equally valid. And you've got to flip it. So you're always going from what do you want to sound like?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want to be? What are you listening to? What's inspiring you? What gets you going, and what makes you want to play? It's like, it's once you've got that, then it's fucking easy. You just go, you've got this, and this is the gear that you've got right now. So how do we get you with what you've got? What can we do? So you're working that way.
What's the consistency like? I mean, obviously you're not making these on huge, like multinational corporations, like Fender, which chuck out 5 million in a day or whatever.
Like to.
But you know, obviously you're doing these on a smaller scale, but is the consistency better because you're a smaller company, a smaller operation? Are you able to sort of guarantee that consistency better?
Yeah, also I've got some people working with me that are way better than I am. Right. No, I shit you not. There's one girl, Hannah, who works, and she does all our humbuckers, for example. And she sits there. She can wind pickups and everything, and do all her stuff, soldering all the stuff. And these wires are really fiddly. Yeah. So she's doing that whilst we're watching a murder mystery thing over here. I'm bollocking George, who's like my manager over there. That's something else, and that's what they do. They're like focused in on this stuff. I can do, my brain's a bit too scatty for that. So I was like, she can dial it in, and I was also allowed which is better. It's just we're a little company that's kind of, we fuck up, we fix it, we get better. It's that, and having these people working with me is a fucking joy, and they bring that level of consistency, which you do get in big companies, but it's when the care goes, that's when things go. And what we've got is, there's 4 of us. So you've got me, there's a guy called George who deals with any like the
guy getting the bollocking.
Yeah.
Good old George.
He fucking deserves it, to be fair. And you've got Hannah, you've got Shem. It's just the 4 of us. And my kids come in holidays. And
you're not old enough.
You are?
You're not old enough.
45.
Yeah. It's very good on it.
I
life in music, you see.
Yeah, I'm heckled. It's all years of heavy drinking and smoking. But Hannah and Shem don't give 2 shits about guitar.
Right.
But they care about what we produce. They care about our customers, because it's like we all, because it's small, we all make stuff, and then we all chip in on packing stuff and everything. So and again, it's all about making sure that if you ordered something, you get it, it comes through the door. It's it's the
best it can be.
And that's not only, the Sonics. I take this fucking shit crazy serious. So it's like the Sonics is done. It's like, but it's that extra. What I want to do is make every step in every interaction that you have with Monty's as good as it can be, and because I'm so fucking thankful that I get to sit behind the bench playing bass. I made 4 basses, not 3 actually, last week. And that's quite fun, really, and that's work. Yeah. And so I'm really fucking thankful that I can do that, and you pass that forward. It's just that's why we've got. We've got our own fucking wrapping paper and all that shit. So when your parcel comes through, it's like you've got something from Hogwarts, which we want to be wizards, really.
Book, right? Let's demo some of these, shall we? So, do you want to do some playing? Do you want me to do playing? I can do playing, and you can.
I can tell you how bad you're playing.
Well, I don't need to tell you. So what have we got here?
So that's our retro wine. The whole retro wine series is basically taking a certain era pickups. So this is based on sort of a 70s thing, which for me, I love the 70s Fender stuff. Like there's a real great kind of glassy quality to it. Where they're really.
We're talking earlier 70s or late 70s.
Like I'm talking
Most of those are holding sort of ships in Portsmouth Harbour. So heavy.
Yeah.
The early 70s stuff was pretty good.
Yeah. But I love that crossover period where you've got before they go like 3-bolt and so you've got that some
So
bits from That's like the magic because when they started cost cutting, they did things like stop potting stuff, for example. So that's when you get those things that are really can be really squealy, but they had that magic. They had that kind of that bloom.
Yeah. As I understand it, the reason Fender went from a 4-bolt neck to a 3-bolt neck was because saving those bolts would save them a fortune. One screw.
Well, it's the same. They did the same with the magnets. The magnets went from 0.195 of an inch diameter to 0.187.
Less metal.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it's
metal.
But yes. But with the retros, it's just like I love that glassy thing, but they just didn't. They don't have the weight, the bass that I'm looking for. For me. So that's where we kind of put that back in.
Yeah. Okay. So reverse tuners too.
Yeah.
Excellent. So that's the tone totally up, so you guys can see, not just me and Matt having a private conversation. It's quite a hefty neck. We've got a bit of a baseball going there.
Bit of a beefy one.
It's a bit of a full, what we say, full D?
Getting
Full
on
D
to
and
that.
a bit.
Yeah. It's actually that's an all parts neck. It's a Japanese made neck.
Really nice setup, by the way. And actually the highs are really like there.
Yeah.
Sometimes with a P, it's like, it's sort of there, but it's not sort of poking through it. Accomplished the task there, well done, sir. It's nice. Nice pickup.
With this, with sort of guitars, basses in general, I find that you're looking for. If you break your nails, like the back of your hand over the string, again, it's these sort of high-end transits is what you're looking for. There's a guy called Steve Crow who does Audio Kitchen amps. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're based out in Acton. We had a workshop next to each other, and he pointed that out to me. It's like what he looks for in his amps, which is always this. If you break your nails in it, you get that. You're golden.
Colour. It's good. Like it. Okay. What's the shell pink?
That is a copy of Rogan's 62. So that is literally just carbon copy of that one.
Okay. Just eat that. Good now. Thank you. Okay. Slimmer neck on this. Seems to have lost the tuner. There we go. reverse tuners again. You're trying to catch me out.
I know.
It's working. Okay. Much slimmer neck on this. Less rounded. Lighter body. Feels lighter.
Yeah.
What, are they all the bodies?
Yeah.
Maple necks, rosewood fingers.
Yeah.
It's always, people ask me, but they see me in the shop and go, "You're really crap at just playing unaccompanied." And it's like, yeah, but when I used to do reviews for Bass Guitar Magazine, Bass Player, do them on the channel, I'm trying to hear things. I'm not trying to be, Paul McCartney. I'm trying to hear tonality. I'm trying to hear how the strings resonate with the bass, with pickups, the electronics, all of that sort of thing. So if ever you see me in a shop and go, "Mike's crap on his own," yeah, I'm a band player. I play with drums. That's what I do. As Gary would know. I won't do loads of slapping. So, when you were saying earlier about changing things and not doing everything all in one hit, how big of a change is changing the pickup compared to changing the bridge, changing strings, changing electronics? When we start going into wiring looms and is the pickup the biggest change you can make?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's second to the setup. It's the biggest thing that can change the sound, the electronic sound of your guitar or bass. It's the thing that's turning the physical movement into the string into the start of your signal. So whatever is making that conversion is going to have a fucking huge impact. And not only just what it's doing electronically, the magnets and that having magnets under your strings, depending how strong they are, how close they are, that's going to have an impact on how your string moves. So it's going to have a massive impact.
Okay. So what's the difference between this pickup and that one? What's going on with this?
It's wound with a different wire. Is the main difference. They're both the same thickness, but that's got this. Is that heavy foam? Yeah, it's heavy foam bar on it from memory, and the other one's plain enamel, which even for thank you very much, love. Which gives you, with the same wind pattern, you get a narrower coil with plain enamel, so you naturally will get more mids with heavy foam bar.
This one has a little less bottom end than that one had. Yeah.
It's a little bit more scoop, a little more scooped.
Sweeter, that was a little bit more kind of raucous, a bit like
It's like
I'm not playing anything musically that you will recognise because I don't want, if anyone's using this on YouTube or socials, you'll get a copyright strike. So, and then it'll rattle into another one bites the dust, and then we'll suddenly get that video torn down.
Can you play that? Another one bites the dust?
It's got like a proper punch to it.
Different. Nice. If you could just move that, that'd be fab. So we get some jazzes here.
Yeah. So.
Was that 62? Sorry. Which
Yeah, 62.
I preferred that one to the first one.
Yeah.
I didn't think I would because you said the first one had more bass.
Yeah, it's more the bass in the first one's kind of a bit more round and a bit, whereas that one's a little bit more woody, a little bit more cutting.
The harmonics on that first beat were ridiculous.
It's fucking great, right? Yeah. It's
Well, that second one, you could feel it.
More
Right.
Yeah, I thought the first one was more scoop.
Yes.
What strings are you using on
Strings. They are actually on all of them apart from they've all got apart from the 62, the pink one. They've all just got Elixir 45 to 105s. But that's steels. So this is we haven't actually released this one yet. It's our five string retro wine set, which I was working with Stormzy over the last couple of summers with their live band, and the bass player for Stormzy, a guy called Aaron Powell, who is fucking incredible. Like, that guy is from like the gospel world, but it's you owe it to yourself to check that guy out. And he just had a American Professional 5-string, I think. But it just sounded monstrous, and I was every night watching the gig. I was just like, I want one of those. So I built myself a 5-string, and came up with that. It's got a dark glass preamp thing in it, so all of those keep them in the middle. And
2 volumes, or is one a balance?
This first one's a balance. There's no on this one. There's no volume, because why the fuck should you turn
volume?
that? Well, no, it will do eventually, but at the minute, it's present, guys. It doesn't have one.
Active to 18 volt circuit. Okay, let's plug her in. Let's see what we got. Quite a hefty neck.
Yeah.
So
this one's made from Warmouth parts.
Okay.
Actually, so it's their asymmetrical neck, which is really freaking
yes.
comfortable.
Low B.
Yeah. I mean, how good's that, right? It's like great.
There's no prize for people who recognise the intro.
Yeah. So that with some fuzz and some octave on sounds monstrous.
I think so.
30.
It doesn't feel like 35.
Well, the low B.
Just scale length.
So I
think
can't
it-
fucking remember.
No, it feels like a 34. It doesn't feel like a 35. If it was 35, I think, yeah, it would be. It's thunderous. The quality of volume across all the strings really kind of equal. You know, sometimes you get the bottom 2 will be really whoa, and the high will be quite quiet. This is. And nicely set up as well. If you knew how many basses we used to get at the mag that were just shocking. Shocking. We used to get basses that come literally straight from the production line, and the strings. And you'd say, we can't review this, we'll just change the strings. We shouldn't have to. It's left your factory, this could have come to a customer. So, you know, all those sort of things.
Yes.
And they didn't get set up. You get a bass like this, everything's working.
Mhm.
So I really should job. Really comfortable to play.
Yeah.
Oh, my fingering's out today. So. Oh yeah.
I think the coolest thing about that bass is the dots glow in the dark.
Little Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. sides as well?
Uh-huh.
Oh, good man, now we're talking.
Yeah, so that one was the sonically what I was aiming for is a bass that could keep up with. So you could play like dark electro with that thing. You know, you can keep up with some synth stuff. That's where that thing comes in.
It's got a load of natural growl.
Mm-hmm.
So is it bass and treble?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But I mean, it just even unplugged that bass is like really freaking resonant. It's so good.
It's really nice. What's the finish?
It's just poly.
Colour.
Colour. It's copper.
Copper.
Copper, isn't it?
Nice. Nice.
I like the taper on the heel joint.
It's great.
Yeah, man. It's just that sort of comfort heel.
It's like
it's so nice.
Gradient there.
Yeah. The one thing to watch with those is you need two shorter screws this side.
Yeah.
The amount of times I've done it twice is you put the wrong screw in, it sort of pops out the other side.
You have a story about the guitar video that was up. Was it like a really rare Strat? The screw snapped.
Which one? Oh, was that the?
Sean, help.
I fucked up.
Drilling.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that was when I. So.
This is cracking. This.
When there was a. Do you remember the laser roller nuts? Those things that held in Strats. Those horrible metal things. Well, I was changing one of those, and they've got the screws in them are really tiny. So I unscrewed one side, it was fine. Unscrewed the other, and it's the shaft of the screw snapped in the neck. And Charlie, who I was working with at the time, told me to get a really small drill bit and drill around it, and then you can get some pliers on it and sort of twist it out and get it. And he said, make sure that you put some tape around the drill bit, because then you'll know how far to drill. And Muggins here didn't realise that the tape was slipping up. so I drilled around it, and all of a sudden there's a fucking hole in there. And so this little whole thing was like this, sort of popped out the other side of a customer's guitar. It wasn't a rare one.
The joys of setups.
Oh yeah. I've made loads of mistakes. I mean.
But you got the screw out.
Oh yeah, got the screw out, that's the main thing.
Pushed it out the front.
Yeah. just blow a massive hole in it. That's going to sort it. But what Charlie managed to do, and it's how I actually learned how to sort of patch in so well, because I used to fuck up so much. But Charlie showed me he drilled the hole out, doweled it, and then he spoke to the customer, and the customer was fine, and he was really freaking lovely about the whole thing. But he managed to draw in the grain, so you couldn't see it. It was fucking genius. And I've had to use that quite a lot. Not recently.
So what we got here? What's this like?
Okay, this is my personal favourite. But it's the Retro One Jazz bass. So it's based on kind of it's slightly later 60s jazz, but with more weight. I just wanted some more body in it.
I have to say, you guys probably can't see it down there. The checking and the finishing on this stuff is great. So you've got the slightly broken warm, but nice. It just feels really nice. Neck's pretty good, not too hefty. Nice lightweight actually.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything? I mean, are you just selecting lighter bodies, or would you do chambering and that sort of thing?
I have on these we just select the lightest bodies we can.
Okay.
I mean, my theory with that is that lighter wood means that the grain's more open. It's the tubes that make up the wood are bigger, so therefore it's more resonant. So that's the theory I go with.
Yeah.
Saying that, I've heard some guitars and basses that weigh a fucking ton and are really resonant, but I find this is 9 times out of 10 you're guaranteed to the end result is good. So keep it up.
Yes. So if you're looking for nicely relict looking brand new basses, these are great. So both pickups, everything wide open. Glass. you sticking around for the afternoon?
I'm on daddy duty, so I have to
People have to check you out somewhere else to get to try these.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, always welcome down the workshop.
One more.
That one's a really nice.
I love this.
Yeah, it's killer. It's,
Just out of interest, prices, what are we looking at
for these,
and pickup prices, of course, as well.
pickups are around jazz bass around 200, I think, off the top of my
Website's
head.
220,
Yeah,
and that's with that.
yeah. And
pickups.
P's are. I should know this.
165.
Thank you very much. There.
Sold.
What were the pickups in that one?
They are retro wine jazz bass. They're not actually out on the website. They're literally coming out next week. But
I might buy some of these. In fact, I might be placing an order. Honestly.
no, they're freaking monstrous.
There's nothing on the website for humbuckers and soap bars. Are you going to address that?
Yeah. All of this stuff
It's all
is.
coming.
Yeah. Again, it's just. I mean, we've got designs for tons and tons of stuff. And I mean, historically, I've been very guilty of just going, let's do everything all at once, and everyone gets really fucked off, and our orders get backed up, and so we're sort of releasing. We've got about 12 things coming. It's like one a month coming out over the next year.
Yeah, that was the only thing I could see on the website that was missing. Was like there's no humbuckers or soap bars here.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to let you know, this tune is really
It's a fucker. Yeah. No, I'm aware.
Before it goes crunch.
Oh, don't worry.
So,
I know someone who can fix it.
excellent. That's good. So what we got here?
That's 1960, early 1960s.
It's like 62.
It's 1960.
16. Right.
Because in 60 they did them with plain enamel and with heavy formvar, which is just the difference is where it's the coating of the wire, but sonically the difference is you get a little bit more sort of top with these which are plain enamel,
Okay.
a little bit more mids with the heavy formvar.
Woo! Okay. Full neck on this. Fat one.
Yeah, if I have enough.
Hear the difference, really 60s.
Yeah.
So I played Guy Pratt's Betsy,
Ooh, nice.
which is 62. Similar
Mhm.
sounding, that sort of clarity, sparkling
yeah.
top end.
So the bass is still there, it's still all that lows, but it's a little bit more focused, and that one's a little bit more.
Well, like I said, if you try like a 72, 73, put it up against 62, the 70s one is fat.
Yeah.
But the 60s one, it's like refined
Yeah, it's
in terms of
like a
tone.
fine wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn the tone down a bit when it's solo pickups a bit. It's a bit of a bad pickup.
You get kind of flea vibes with that one.
So
You get kind of flea vibes with that
very woody,
one.
really woody. Like
Yeah.
everything. The bottom end is there without it sort of overtaking all the other tones.
Kind of nicely contained.
harmonic settings?
What have I got there? That's just
the
back
chords?
pickup
Yeah.
on full, nothing on the
Down
neck,
a notch.
and tone is about 70%.
Yeah.
Boys and girls, questions and answers for Matt. Any questions?
Anything?
How did you find out that wrapping the coils tighter changed the sound?
By doing it. It's literally.
What made you do it?
What
What
made me do it?
What if I do this?
Well, I learned how to wind pick. Nobody taught me. I got this book, the Lola Build Your Own Pickup Winder book, and that was, it was basically, it shows you how to make a pickup winder and pointed you in the direction of some suppliers, and you need to wrap it a few times, and that was about it. So it was lots of just trial and error, and I mean, when I first started, my first winder's made out of an old sewing machine that I got off eBay for 20 quid, and then some bits of plywood. I still use it now, but it was learning how to wind it, and it was literally just feeding it on. So you would wind them, and I thought I need to get everything really, really tight, really like regimented, and like really nicely layered up, like it would be on a transformer. That's the only experience I'd had before. But when I was doing it like that, it all just came out. They came out dead and dull sounding.
Yeah.
So, you try different things, and eventually I stumbled across, just changing the tension but keeping the pattern the same. Made it more lively. You got a different tone out of it, and then it was so, well, if I'm changing the tension, I find one that sounds nice with that pattern. If I then change something else, I started off by kind of fucking around and changing loads of things, and then once I calmed down and just could do one thing at a time, which took a lot of restraint actually. It was literally just changing one thing at a time, stumbling across that, looking at it, kind of getting hyper focused on that and super geeky, and then coming out and figuring it out and having conversations with friends that didn't give a shit. I've spent 24 hours winding this stuff. Do you know? It's just like they're like, fuck off.
Matt, a question for you. You've gone back to sort of 60s, 70s. Has it all been done? Is there nothing new for pickups or manufacturers to do that's new and different, or is it always about going back to the originals?
There is. You mean sort of creating new designs?
Yeah, something that's going to make us think differently about bass.
Yeah, but I think as bass players and guitar players, we're all kind of the same. We want everything exactly like it was in the 50s and 60s, just without the the diseases. So it's difficult. There is loads of designs. We've got one which is kind of like this quad coil thing, which sounds fucking great. It's got all that really low end punch, that focus, but it looks a bit different. So getting people to try it and commit on that is difficult. So at the minute we're working on putting it in housing that people are familiar with. Mainly it means you don't have to fuck around with your bass, so you can just drop it in and see what it sounds like and go from there. But yeah, I think that there is a lot more sonically that we can do, and especially the way music's going, and things are changing. The way we're creating music is changing, and if you speak to most session guys now, I mean, they don't play with amps at all. I know one guy he's been regularly employed for the last 5 years and never played an amp. He's just got something on the floor which and that's a different thing. So they're still looking for those tones, but you have to create them in a different way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So.
Boys and girls, we've got to wrap it up. We've got other things to go on.
Matt, thank you, Sam. It's a pleasure.
Matt Gleason. Thank you.